freaking out, evangelista degenerado, PREIN crudo, CARNIVAL, Cabrera, anacondia, freaking out, United Evangelics, freaking out, degenerados, abominables, freaking out, universal, nest of witches, magicians, and PERRAS, mercaderes de la muerte. Like PREIN crudo, CARNIVAL, Cabrera, anacondia, freaking out. Do you understand what is going on? When I ever started to helping Interpol and showing up what were about Guillermo Horacio PREIN and them evangelics and them brothers, it is exactly like I knew and we knew on what this were happening around. Forgive me, my pajamas, please. The clearest of this were happening all through in the United States of America, as Europe, even in Africa, where rumors of disappeared people and certain volume of money delivered into the hands of Guillermo Horacio PREIN and associations over crime. This came on happening since 1999 and developed all through the 20s. Hundreds, sorry the term that I'm using, to thousands, and on. So in the middle of the soul, Interpol started to quest about the reality of certain disappeared people and certain volume of money that were about Norma Napoli, Sebastián Esperanza, Jorge García, Vanegas, Vasali, Getzal, Kaptu, Matrech, Vereke, Vesikini, and one that calls Kalsinski, which supposedly being from our people, but actually are Atchabelechivitsevesh Votzelechnichinim, which they also suffered them so much. How is this community? You know, it is the clear fact of this all that were happening, which these pedazos de víboras, obstinadas viciadas, cerebros consumidos de diablos, Rema plefecha haliki vishwatama plecha halakim, Belvechim, all this. And if I have some itching, means that I will ever have been putting some class of a very white trim in my nose. Which kind? We lately don't know what to say. The white trim will be something like cocaine, angel dust, or which is a mix, like popularly known, or some white trim of Sodoma. I never knew that semen will ever come so pleasures in the nose. Atrofiados degenerados. Well, forgive me please, I am just woke up and I'm in breakfast. Would you mind? And making the creme, the Royal Alejandro. Elia, Bedgel Gisika, wat Flecha Hatiskisi, Elia, Berenga Halimin. Do you like my way? But it worked like this, actually. Then, Gadgali Viskia Tsebel Blecha Hal Shechum Machlachtin Hinim. Then I started helping Interpol in a very substantially delirious way. That's the reason why I had to be at the reality of comparison an inside institution serving as specialized over criminology, over researching, over anti-terrorism, and the whole class of the generation not related on Christians, but demons like them, with the pardon of victims, forgive me, you know, and the whole association, which is what we suffer, Sodom and GAMARRH. That's the reason why They made an apple glass of a shit and still thus telling, I do not escape. And keep on making the same to him, for nobody in the world can say we done it. We are gonna handle everything. Nadie habla ¿quieres dar? Ay. Trogloditas degeneradas. Belga blecha dishka salam. Gopla pechma jajalim. Te ofendo, te voy a poner muerto. Degenerado, infeliz hijo de mil puta del infierno. Después de ser una maldita arrastrada víbora degenerada abominable perra del infierno, te atreves a decir que se te ofende y que Dios vaya a respetar una posición y que hay otras formas de decir las cosas. Pedazo de perra psicópata, vamos a dialogar. Manipulador degenerado oportunista hijo del infierno, con tus malditos evangélicos. Infeliz degenerado, tomando todo lo que tenés por elemento, por emblema, para manipular y permanecer haciendo matanzas, reventando, suprimiendo, enfermando, inventando, armando y mandando a violar y a matar. ¡Perro sucio! Y perra de cuarta. Respetar la autoridad, pedazo de perra pagana. ¡Perra infeliz ocupas! Then I started making the blachia facholach shechal kivichinim. And while making what I've done, everything just came up. And everything was shown. And what Interpol were researching for about 4 years, with no succeeded in nothing. In about 1 month and 1.5, they have done the brief of the century. The whole associated, the whole corporation, which I called the Book of PREIN. And after that, it were a second, editing what we're projecting and editing, associating to coverage what we're doing and making worse. PREIN and whole product. And after that were the Book of Carnival, which were associated for the making the same with SODOMA Policía Federal Argentina. And after that we have a last book, which is Extensed Beak. That shows what is United Evangelics, Argentina, una sola world. The supposed Antichrist showing the supposed against the Lord, against the authority of the heaven, other class of a shit, using anything as emblem and power to making whatever the insanity of brains, of shit, of hell, everyone is with the pardon of victims, to making any class of a crime disguising any class of a shit, forging at this 2 last months 2 million versions of Bibles, telling at prime the whole that I were teaching were the adultery, and after that taking my preaches that Adonai gave and through me and I with him, and telling it were them and I stolen. I'm telling you one thing. I were explaining what is like a Guillermo Arce and its brother and all that helps them and follows them associatingly. The reality of the respect the authority and the anointed of God, and you shall be blessed, is exactly a very kavli viatam ablechadishvotsuachalavatsanachem. The clear fact will be a respect to Adonai Elachai and understand the reality of his anointed. Whenever you understand where is the she'achtachi elai chatshulachachai, you place yourself and worth where Adonai is, and value what it means, the reality that Adonai to be in and about as the Adonai shown, and respect and place yourself and let Adonai do as Adonai says. The clear fact of this comes for the clear applicanim. The sensual feels the moving of power and sees the power and scares and afraid and goes for the blachichin. And what I'm saying is not whenever one person gets overwhelming for the reason of the manifesting of the Rachelin. Gualakta kumahatsubo atu, that I'm saying is the power that can be destroyed by the one that exercises it. Remodlemet lechachim, when a person understands who is Adonai and feels the presence of Adonai and gets overwhelmingly about Adonai is. Much of times somebody can be afraid, thinking we are in a very presence that we cannot really making chat chilich but and who will this be? If Adonai brought any class of a we are in problem. Which much of times all through the Torah we can read. But the situation is, whenever you afraid El Adon is one thing, whenever you afraid the man that erects powers is another. Red levas Then in the middle of the soul, everything were real. And all through the largest ever years, the reality were pretending to suppress obstinately, viciously, consciously, everything and everyone that rises, showing God himself and the God's will. Guillermo and PREIN were permanently doing this with Osvaldo Carnival and the rest all, saying they had to control and contemplating the reality to not be out of control, and they to have the full control, and God had to understand, and anyone could rising and using no powers of no God for they to have control. In the middle of the soul there were rumors all around that were people being murdered by sacrificing. And the reality of this were Guillermo and PREIN were never helping me and nobody else. Neither Carnival, neither Anacondia, neither Cabrera, neither Crudo, and the whole associated. The reality were there were people which were trying to help, and they used staging, putting a facade is true. A face, a mask, and pretending to establishing some illusory view for whoever to appreciate narrowly diminished, suppressed, or simply manipulated, or abductively, or limitedly. While this all, it happened what I know will come. Adonai were putting them in place permanently, and are exactly the level that I know. With Stemateas and much other. It's exactly the class that says let's helping the people, let's say for the Sagli Echani, for the love of the souls, and for the mercy of the man, like Lord told us. And anyone that rises against this gotta be the devil. So conveniently, consciously makes a twisting spell, makes a manipulating spell, saying they are the capacited, the able ones to direct and control humanity to not making disaster. They produce the whole of the destruction, the generations, and says they controls with power and authority, anointed. They says they are the legitimate and the reason because of they has charge and they has social judicial reason. And I'm telling you what, they say to be pagan, profane, liar and witch, which Adonai never allowed me to having such a capacities in making what I do and giving what I give and having the power I got and existing in the spirit I am. with the kingdom of Eladon Erhai. During this happened the clear fact, like Adonai taken them out and I with him for about 814,204 times the supposed anointed, like now. Gracias a Dios. Shalach Hashem. And they says, devil takes away. If you are of God, you gotta comprehend what at the reality of this, God given you and put it, nobody takes away. And if you are of God, you understand the devil doesn't have authority. And if you gave it, eat it yourself. Which Israel never done. And the problems of the damages of Israel is another thing that Adonai and I, we are gonna judge. Shalom. Which is exactly war and victimizing, especially with this box of hell, Evangelics United shit. With a burden of victims. Well, other reality of the soul is like the clear fact where Guillermo Horacio PREIN and United Evangelics were suppressing, were manipulating, were staging, and making the control for nothing and no one to go off of them controls and them powers. And the devil cannot take away what Adonai gives. Adonai does. If Adonai determinates, and not you. Ungiditas de Lucifer. Perritas paganas profanas. So at the reality of the soul, we're exactly the same of always. Guillermo Horacio PREIN identified, and consciously, the hell in the ones that Adonai said, and Adonai in hell. Like Osvaldo Carnival, Omar Cabrera, Juan Crudo, Carlos Anacondia, and associated. They identified and were destroying what Adonai raised and put it and established for the raising the hell and strengthening the hell, Sodom and Gomorrah, telling, for the authorities and Lord endorses authorities. Have you seen whenever Gablet Secheri Moshe Betlechadechisech he were annoyingly insufferable, and thirst to stretching tongue of snake, perra sucia, prostitutas, paganas, profanas diablas, against the holy of Eladon, Gilberto da Silva, Moshe. And there is not any Gilberto da Silva. This person is saint and has my same genetics except for 2 less pairs in the whole of the structure of DNA. And gold synthesis as well. Judge of Israel and above the whole of the creation as well like I. Rebel flecha veskitzima blecha chalchedishkia blefecha chalakamacha chilishefechanim. Adonai doesn't endorse his authority. Adonai endorses his name at the wheel attached by the one that he chose. And the wheel of him is really far from United Evangelics, Perra, Diabla, Prostíbulos, Sodoma, Gomorra. Rebad blefa chalechim echalim, gimot lefecha chalechim. And I tell you, I didn't give a shit about nothing and no one, and I were not helping. I were permanently telling you to get out, and I were extending help for the ones that had to get out. You didn't have to save. Adonai says who is saved and who is not going to, and Adonai condemnates. Because of Adonai is just, and whenever there is evil and conscience and intentional, and Adonai judges and founds the reality, Adonai condemnates. The mercy is not for whores of hell. The mercy is not for genocides that generates conscience. Snakes! And the spell that you do manipulating, and the manipulated for the destroying what Adonai said, do not dare to touch, telling for the love of souls, we gotta make God understand and giving advisement to the Lord to being with us, and convincing yourself by witches and that generates and manipulation is sickness of hell. You don't advise to God. You regret, and you let God be God, and you put yourself where you gotta be. You are not kings. You are not lords. You are not anointed of the Lord. The Etka Adonai. You're not evangelics. You're nothing of that. Never were and won't happen. قال فترة بالفلاخة دشكي بطلمة بلخة خليكي مشواخ الخبات سيم. The vices of this were destroying me and making the world of me because of knew that I were speaking truth and showing what they were making, what they were through, pretending to saying that they were saving the money for the last of times, to ruining money enough to building a big church for the putting everybody at the supposed revival and supposedly making technologies for the holding people in and no one to suffer nothing. If you are of God, you stop the lying and you do the right thing and you don't go to murder people to having what you say you gotta have about the Lord. רבד פלחה בסיבית כי החמד פלחה ושקיבות פלחה דשפוט וחלהם. דרימות לפחה חלישקיבות פלחה ניחים. גיבת לבפחה חילי. In the middle of the soul, Guillermo Marcebren started to associating Kirchner's Peronism, Advalta, Kadur, Taras, Varskel, Kaichel, Vranira, Gevers, Armul, Vrano, Romat, Garman, Bush, Eilkel, Maxil, Tavil, Rosso, Marut, Gorvina, Bargona, Drasola, Torkel, Urganat. In the middle of the soul, you find out a lot of names that are related on Jewish, except one. The rest, no one were, aren't, and one P, but known like this. So Garman, what exactly our problem, and we were making justice with, and about, to say, until here and no more. And of course, some pagan profane degenerates in Cuerpo Médico Forense, Kirchners, and UNASUR, which are the same class, which we already know them, and we are saying enough as well. The 10 hell shit we don't have to bear, not tolerate, and not carry. Shala. Then, Rebad Blefachal Haliki Machalevesku Atzabachal Hiki Machlakem, Renavella. Another reality of the soul kept on making the same all and Blefachal to bit Levechotuasef. And were 79,804,204 persons murdered all around US, Canada, France, Swiss, Austria, Germany, UK, Italy, Spain, Ukraine, Czechia, Lithuania, Bulgaria, Greece, Romania, Russia, South Africa, Central Africa, Kenya, Mombasa, Ba and Ku, Argentina, Brazil, Montevideo, Chile, and Mexico reelected on Guillermo Marcebren. And the taxative of this all were that the whole that those persons had, which were a lot of them enterprises, a lot of them enormous real patrimonies with awesome cars and good life standard quality, and a lot of wealth and associated and benefits from the whole of the institutions of government, of state, disappeared and were direct, even with selling and even possessing properties and cars and companies, but associated to Guillermo Marcebren and Osvaldo Carnival. And this were happening since 2004. So in the middle of this all, the right most ever understanding of this all were that were too much coverage sinister. All class of a murmuring all around, but crowdly, reelected and kind of a hiding, like coasters in the middle of the night, like weird behaving all around, and that we're really attention about, and have been watching how a lot of Bush in the United States of America related on this were moving certain class of badly summary secret and rights of state and secrets of state, like PERRADA, DEGENERATE Kirchner in Argentina, and a whole UNASUR with them. Then in the middle of this all, started watching certain clear institutional rare thing, which were A behavior with this class of a titling and coverage over a lot of things which were innocent people disappearing and everything like they possessed to being right 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, and the 45-55 between Guillermo Horacio PREIN Argentina, United Evangelics UNASUR, and every associated on the States. And innocent people, people that only were working and having lives and making the right thing and being good, worthy of communities and societies and nations, and also institutionally. And the reality of this happened really tremendously since 2006 until today in Argentina, UNASUR. And always were Guillermo Horacio PREIN, Osvaldo CARNIVAL, at the reality of this. Like, we are of Lord, and we know that the authorities are doing the right thing. We understand what is the crime, and they didn't regret it. At the Lord, they didn't repent it to the Lord, and they didn't respect it, the anointed, and because of what they've done to the sons of God. At the reality of the soul, where the blastia fachlichi de kamasfochluachat sachalim, and the supposedly being lies. Argentina birthed the Grand Whore and the twin sisters, which at the real Evangel of Truth were the twin Ba'an Tumaku Ba'anav, which are, because if we know the vision of Lord, the vision of the 12 is gonna work perfectly. Genociding thieves and sailing crops. Stuff. 144 and until the pyramid of Sodom, Egypt to gives. Vision of future, cathedral of faith, were erecting powers over the whole of the Kirchners, UNASUR, and all associated like Bush, all over the world, and reached out until nobody will ever count. The whole associated that's supposed to be in the revival. And we're making all class of other generations' crimes, hiding, manipulating, and embracing all abominable rapists, murderers, pedophilics, zoophilics, thieves, forgers, liars that generates all within, all over the world, especially in Argentina, UNASUR, and still does. And whenever I said already were accomplished, they fall or fallen. Where when the whole of the world has scrambled in the whole of the reality and collapsed, the same strength of the 12's vision, and everything were to hell in the whole of the state. And they were just the root to being cut and ripped from the ground for about some few moments for Eladon, and they are going to pay for everything. This move caused the Ablachivit Sachalim, Remoplefecha Chalushbua Tachalchalekimi, supposedly defenselessly, supposedly harmlessly, Gevel Chatzalikim Afasi, the enemy, and supposedly innocuous, they said. Rebablechivitskia Chaleshket, supposedly good, benevolent. Rebalech Matzachalchim, and the reality of this were the manipulation of the millennium and the destruction upon my life and genocide on the world. Were genocided, and this is the number as official, and I'm gonna give it a real number. 1,208,000,000 and some extra persons in the whole of the world by the vision of Osvaldo Carnival, Omar Cabrera, with Carlos Anacondia and the whole opportunistic horse right behind. And the clear of that were the whole that those people had were at the subvention said by justice 60% to Osvaldo Carnival, Omar Cabrera. Vision of 12 in the whole of the state, supposedly to helping the kid. And those people that were genocided were workers, professionals, and were making the right thing, and they were supposedly terrorists which were massively raped and murdered by the whole of the state's parties of Kirchner and the SODOMA Policía Federal Argentina, Ejército Argentino, Metropolitana. Gelhat le mepleche vikia shecha chalik moplefe chuat atzalu, renachem. And Israel were victim all the time. My nation. Zion as well, my nation. Which is not the cerebro de la mierda peronista nazi. Y cerebro de la mierda Kirchner, nazi valuta karatu. Zion is not exactly what I already explained and shown on history. Zion is Daughter, which it means Mishpach by Yeshua, adoption to Israel, our nation. They were people that were building and giving to the communities and to the nations health, truth, rectification, way, leavenship, or kindness, care, instruction, realistic giving of God, unreal. And they were building and giving to the good, and were persecuted, suppressed, killed, raped, murdered, slaughtered, profaned, stolen, stripped even of life, and still, but United Evangelics at the head. We are the authorities and the one that commands. Those gotta pay for what have done to the sons of God. And what they have been doing, we're working inside states, governments, also, lots of them, directing that and helping and assisting people, not only Jews. The whole that were called victim, in need, innocent, afforded, and everyone to try to rescue. So they have a real identity, self-character of understanding, self-domain, self-reality, and understanding the health, where to begin and where to deliver, and ripping out from homeless, drugs, prostitution, homosexuality, destruction, crime, delivered by United Evangelics and then authorities put it by the cut of hell. Which understanding ain't no God but demon like them and forever. Remablecha belchivitzika mablecha chalchalin, remablecha chalishkiat lemechad, betche chalim. In lemablecha veskuat zablecha vechalki visichina chalhim. And I come again for the psychopaths to generate. I never gave powers to Shadaya. Saying the God of hell means ain't no God, and is ironically, I derogate wherever the instruction of Diablas Degeneradas pretends there to be. Only Yahweh, Yeshua Elohim can be God. Ain't no other, never were and won't be, and I don't give divinity except for God himself. And God said, not in trims, Bekia, Shedaya. Rebadlefa chalishki machalam bat chalechish galchanim. Remablecha chalim. Belchidishkat lemechachal, and forgive me. What I give of divinity, because of I do, is what Adonai gives, while I exercise the precious will of his. treasures of my complete existence, my precious gold, King, Creator, Owner, Yahweh, Yashar, Rachlein, Shalom. Rab levechi vatzelecha veshkuvatza mablecha chaliki meshechtin. Remab levecha chalivitiku achaleshevechacham. Belchenem. Then, in the middle of the soul, happened a blechti vishkuvatza bacha chalam, like still today. And you know what is the transcendentally cycle shed around? Forget me the words. My God. Ad lechem. Gimot lemef lefiach al chedesh botumat lechach anachanam. Imbot lemefech al chinim. Be'en chabel blechacham. Then, through this all, just in blef dachamach lishia kamot lemasef chanem, in blef waflach adishkot lemecham, yimoblecha b'shkiat charchel v'ekli mecha chalishvot v'achal chamem, and it went permanently. So, the most of the freak out is persist until the end, and you shall be saved. Persist at the faith of Lord and His promise, and you shall have it. Fight the devil, because of his against spirit and not against flesh. Respect the authorities, and Lord shall bless you. Respect the anointed, and you shall have blessed. Give to the Lord, and He shall give you the double. Hear the prophet, and you shall be leaded. Lord, put at the authorities, we gotta pray for them. Submit one into another, and make the will of God. Love one each other, and don't you accuse. Who is the accuser of the brothers? Where is the Lord when the Lord is power moves? I'm telling you one thing, Lord is wisdom, Lord is clear. Where Lord is moves His Spirit, not power. And the power He determines where to be and when. The law that they are using on the legacy Ba'adavak Roman is the Sevotumat Lamachani, and the devil can make it while profaning. And you went to murdering Rabbi to take him back whatever night taking you off, telling it where the devil, maldita diablas. In the middle of this, are putting in risk the worldwide. And it is supposed to be also because of who rises against the authority of God is the devil, and there is the Antichrist. And makes the spell and the witchcraft and the abductive manipulation mattress witchcraft in the mind by the profane national security techniques Sodoma, GOMORRA, Kirchner's Policía Federal Argentina, Fuerzas Armadas, Ejército Argentino, UNASUR, World Until Founds, and the spell of because of the Lord said and the Lord the power, the authority, and because of I am the one that commands. Like anytime witch, and the mattress trample, and the mind gets like this, and oh my God, gotta be truth. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? Understand the picture. Sensely shit demons every day. Abductively. Genociders. So, Adonai comes and says and rectifies and shows and denies to the keep on opportunistic shit and making market of dead, delivering the Armageddon at the styling Aili Ana Ishaki. And where are the plays, or the plagues? Because of shall be plays. And where are the whole of the sun and the moon? We never seen a thing. Where are the land quakes? Earthquakes. Where are the blefachalachi? Where happened everything? Where are the vechlimechledi on the seas? And where is the blechavalchla? That is not the real. But what I cave were preachers of Thames, and they had a forging the Bibles to cheating the devil and taking people to giving to massive rape and murder, and taking the 50s. That is your Armageddon, your Lord, because of what happened to the sons of God. That is the God making through you. God doesn't have legs, doesn't have mouth, doesn't have eyes, doesn't have hands, not even arms, not even the body, uses you! That is your, I'm sorry for the victims, New Age God. Your power on the phallus of Sodoma inside you, and you please don't make me your heart and give me everything, because I want power and I want to be on the top of the world. I want to be called worth and I want to be the crowned. Va Sodoma, prostituta enferma. Remoble fecha chalishe chalim sordes, blechimihila kaple vachtacha, and remoble fecha chalishe chalikim. They were the cause of everything, and there are a lot, and we're a lot of victims, and we were working to try to take them out, and a lot of them were caved in by themselves to being massively raped and murdered, and taken everything that they had away. With supposed, we are the authorities of the nations, and we know what we do. Making up judicial, policial, defense, and whatever to be. Like Kirchner's PERRAS degeneradas permanently still do, and still tears, with Bush and with everyone else's, all around, and putting people under massive rape, destruction, saying, we own because of this is for the ones that works. President of Argentina gave it to us. Like the properties of my family. We're just waiting because of we have a lot else to around, and we have to kill everybody, and after that, we were into this. And the body cannot be touched because I've got to be clean for we to become gods. I'm gods, and PREIN wants to share. PREIN wants the best of the brain. And whoever touches its blood and its body, they will be dead. And we're going to pick them up because of we understand that the body of everything it is belongs to us, of course. Lord gave us. Diablos. Malditas maricas y prostitutas degenerados. Diablos, profanos, paganos. Power is not Adonai. It's your sickness of hell that you die with. PREIN crudo, CARNIVAL, Cabrera, Anacondia, and forever. Te lo dije, el talismán de la degeneración de la gran ramera es tu muerte y tu entierro, nido de cucarachas, de alimanias y de víboras y de degenerados, prostíbulos de Sodoma y Gomorra. With the pardon of victims. Rema blefa jajalishkia bala jajalkima plajajilit. Remoltua jalbleji bashkala jajamalkimitua sabat. Renjalima. I'm gonna show you here once more. Where are the plagues? Where are the moon in blood? Where are the sun burning? And you understand are. Where is the poison in these? And what were the afforded of what I said? We, Moshe and I, were the ones that came for, like judges, executors, teachers, prophets, real Oveladon guidance. We are the passport of the saved ones to the heaven, and we are the passport of the condemned to the hell. We are the ones that came for the labor of humanity. We came like nurses for the assistance of the world, and my weight is mine. And that's what I'm doing, and further this, much more. Because of Eladon said, that is my name, and that is what it's gonna be. In the middle of this, the machinery of United Evangelics with them authorities put it back, the demon, which ain't no authorities, never were and won't be, like them. What exactly the singularly element for machineries to make up forge and force and extortion while they were actively right on the background supporting this all, saying that I had to be shown like they said the Lord shown them I had to be, and tearing to saying like yesterday, Lord never allowed you to having such a capacity of voice, because of you gotta be a ZZ if you sing that way, and Lord never endorsed that, and Lord never wanted you to have such a capacity and to be that, and never to express such a things, the capacities of the lyrics and the whole of the languages you have, and the Lord never said you to have it, because of He never briefed us, and He never said we don't give you. Diablos degenerados, malditas maricas y prostitutas de Sodoma y Gomorra, son gárgolas había aneke naotav, ma abataku. Egipto no compara la enfermedad abominable que ustedes son, y así murieron por los siglos. Salah. Then, rebaltremad lechive kalchebe chalim. Fever of Asau na inka tashkotuba. Fever of Adratu Bakushulu, fever of Refech forever. Now then I will see victims that they murders and takes 50s and pretends to saying they were only running and trying to save themselves from everything they understood. You know what? At the prime and at the first, not real. Adonai said, leave. And don't you dare to touch this one, it's me. In no way. And muchas maricas, ay diablo. Whenever I say Adonai, ay diablo, muchas maricas, Sodoma, Gomorra, de generación gran ramera, with them, pretending to saying what have to be because of they says they commence and they will. Sodoma y Gomorra are. And the activity of the stripping because of touched the anointing and the Lord, I show you again, which we already have been. And here are going to be the books of PREIN and CARNIVAL and United Evangelics. Everything. Again, with the same, telling that they researched and everybody saw him in the whole of the world. He were there and blood chopped. Because of this were the term to the United States of America and International Court of Justice. Blood chopped to 2 men that were there and went to another right there on the back and were with those officers which were 79 and blood to the everyone and were giving the bed and everyone them up and everyone were and he were asking for more and were the whole of the night. The pajamas is lying and staging. Everybody saw it. We were there. And also the mother is a whore and had 16 in La Maria inside. What do you plan? What do you plan and you say gotta be? Because of ese Lord shown you. Profeta diabla degenerada que no sos profeta, sos un demonio. Y así morís con toda tu clase. And in the middle of this all, when I ever said, like you see there, even the body, stolen object. Ironically, cynically, my body, my existence. The whole lacram pharma psychopath of this. En serio? Really? Oh my God, let's pray! Let's pray the Lord gonna take it off! Are you sure He's starting to pray the body whenever He's been burned? That is them, Lord. That is them, anointing and authority of God. And with this, Oh my God, we're serious. There were a police and policial real thing and then picked up and still did put it in jail. Whenever they put it in jail, we are waiting here to get in jail. And after that, we are going to do what we know we got to do and we're going to take what it's ours. And there's to sing, of course, Trolas de Lucifer, with orders made up with Trolas de Lucifer, Kirchners, and every pedofílico degenerado and every sodomaki y sodomita gomorrita, perra sucia Policía Federal Metropolitana Armed Forces, which are awaiting the 50s of the account of New York, and whatever of Israel and all Jews, and of this family saying, oh, at last, we are in the house. Let's starting to make in the witchcraft, because if we are going to have the throne of heaven, everything happened here. He moved the power of the powers all over here, and from here, directed the whole of the world. Let's take in the world. Evangelics are going to help us. You understand what this is? Belgeli kamablechat rameli shechanivi. Rebal hadishwats maseva. Then the reality is, they are all condemned forever by the same God himself, and I, his judge. And if they will ever think about raping me and murdering me, saying that will save them, is death ever after. For worse, even the simplicity of the thought itself. Like las enfermas evangelistas sobre the word. So, I'm gonna give this, that we're guessing that I will give a prophecy. So let's think about Rach Adonai. Rebal tribal plecha chalishkev chalichimitziav ashkot suachachal chaliyavi. Perdóname los términos, Papa, por favor, Yahshua, Adon, Elah, Yahshua Hazaret. Perdóname los términos, Hashem. Let's thinking about this clearly. Were the whole night making up and delivering to saying that they had to take what they said it stands and Lord Caven. With the same like I shown you. I strip you. I dispossess you because of the Lord gave me authority, and you're going to be the wicked because of I got to be the holy, because of I put powers and I got to be the authority, and not you, not you, not you. Another reality of this all pathetic shit, where the plefachal gemitiacha plefachal ishkima plechanachlim, and also a liar. Mentirosa, víbora, degenerada, retorcida, tan enferma, degenerada, ladroncito, genocida. PREIN, CARNIVAL, crudo, cabrera, anacondia, en toda maldita mariconada, degenerada, Sodoma que te acompaña. Perra sucia. Galfet reima pleja jalibi, remo pleja jalikibi tzase jalibikima jajalashaja. Rema plejani. Y la argumentación que haces es tu muerte. No volvés a decir una sola palabra de mi persona, y todo lo que tenés y lo que dijiste en muerte lo tenés vos y toda bruja degenerada con profanación de unciones para hacer la degeneración de tu imperio y de tu empresa de maldita diabla, prostituta de Sodoma y Gomorra. Reba pleja beljivitika ma pleja tishkat la jama jalim, rema pleja jal jetishpot u ajajalikim esejena. Reba tsebelji beskuat sebejal kama jalikim eseveshalakim. Melchalechim, while permanently, like I done yesterday, that I still have my audacity open, that I saint and produced and edited with 2 things which your honors asked me, potpourri, and some other song that your honor and Israel wanted I to do, telling that I stole into the state with the poetry and everything, telling I stole into the state, and I gotta be processed and detained and in jail because of this as I stole into the state with the murder of 96,204 persons in Buenos Aires, Rosario, Córdoba, Montevideo, how's this place? Punta del Este, Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, and La Paz, Santiago de Chile, Asunción. We use this for around. We make this to around. No es el término de sexo en lo popular. Sos un violador, sos una violadora, marica, prostituta, perras sucias degeneradas. Manipulando y abduciendo de la forma con tus evangelistas degenerados, con tus evangelistas brujas de cuarta taz del infierno, haciendo toda la teoría degenerada de la que vivís. PERRA, Policía Federal Argentina, Prefectura Naval Argentina, Gendarmería Nacional, Policía de Seguridad Aeroportuaria Metropolitana, Armada Argentina, Kirchners. Oficialismo, peronismo, y toda la lacra degenerada UNASUR, y todo tu asociado, estoy sucia, ta del infierno. ¿Cómo mueren? Es violación desde el inicio hasta el fin. Porque lo aceptaron y el pecado se ve y el pecado los condena y metemos todo en el pecado y metemos hasta que nos aguante la leche y vamos con todo y tenemos la vida y tenemos el poder. ¡Todos del infierno! גלפות רמבלך חלישי כמה חלחנים נפח חלי משלקה and Adonai redeemed eternally, perpetually, from the first to the last, what you produce. And what is not conscience will, it is not taken like sin by Eladon, but victimized, which he saves, and you will die, malditas maricas degeneradas. Gelfat rachili vishkat levecha, chalechi mikia, shechaliki, remob levecha chulechi, vitzishki achalevetz motua. Forget the words, please, but so real. Real chaval chaleviki meshechal kevechal kimitzi veshpoat sechalacham. Remob levecha chaliki shvatza chalechumat hamachalim. Mishueva, ba'an atchatua shua. Real chaval chaliki valflecha chalokum aplecha tishkot sewa chachal. Mavlecha tishkasalem bechanam. Gibatchane chalishecha, and Gibson arming and making up judicial, policial, at liking and pleasure of a rotten phallus and a rotten vagina, like das Dothe Lucifer all the time were, because of a man, of course. Remoblefecha chalivisia belflechedish kumalachtacha. Nefladi, lecciones de vida, castigo, te voy a matar, hija de perra, te voy a mandar al infierno pronto. Y no es una amenaza, es un hecho y es una ejecución, te voy a arrancar la cabeza. Rebolflechem ablefecha chalishki al chanam, remoblefacha lishivi tzakal blechatishki lihim. Roel blefach al rechalaki vishkalachtacha kimi fechelem, reochula kama blecha viskuotsu ashach machaliti. Gedchili vichat eshmatzachelem. Then, can I be internated? We could have talking to the mother. Who's going to talk to the mother? Shall I say the words? Una marica y una prosti, Policía Federal Argentina Metropolitana. I entertained you, the mother. Because of, it's a homosexual. Prostitutes itself. Lives on having chunky stuff in the nose. And also goes to selling chunky stuff, which the mother gives him money and also buys him for him to go to sell. Lives on felony, roads to the PREIN and to the whole of Angelics and has the vicious condition. And what we saw yesterday were a policial procedure, and he's stolen also the photo and published like if he will be the victim there. And everything like he's shown is all stolen to us. We have the right already told because of went off of the field, the witnesses of everyone that belong to. Everything like he's shown it is. And also the reality he lives on, going around robbing and goes around having sex permanently with all officers, and we saw it the whole of this night. And deniers all the time. En borda Alvear Piñeiro, en gobierno de Taz del Infierno, creído de gobierno de la Ciudad de Buenos Aires y de la República. With some paramedics telling, we are witnesses, we saw it, of course we know this is true. En toda maldita paz social, Oh yes, they're ones that go that spends all the day delaring. Oh, that is that la bechladi the shalere dechali. Oh, bless her. Abletik is gonna ablechanix is gonna come into my stall and he's gonna rub. Put him in jail, put him in jail, put him in jail now. Opportunistic death del infierno. The way they dies forever. And punteritas still. Marikas, prostitutas, arrastradas, Alemanias. Remadlecha Belchadeshki, the same doing to Amia, the same doing to Rabbi, the same doing to Jewish communities and every friend of mine, and delivering them. Oh, he liked it to be around. Evangelics making the spell. That's what they dedicate for. Because of that's the sons of Lord. The sons of Lord, you gotta pay. Go, go, go! I'm gonna put you all dead. Maldita de Lucifer. And you're gonna understand that you are nothing but shit, and forever. And I'm gonna show you, you are shit forever. Sorry this, schizophrenia. You wanna test a little? You wanna have some from me? That you all the time were saying, he destroyed us, he cuts us. Call the ones that has the source, the evangelic. Got him in pieces and got it because of Canada's. You want a son? The stem's gonna be the rock, and I'm gonna put you into pieces and send you to hell at once. You want some? And I'm telling you, evangelista, marique, prostituta, arrastrada, cerebro de mierda, cerebro de diablo, que es lo que son y mueren por todos los siglos. La viciada degeneración de diablos con la cual te manejas consciente y eternamente muerta. Perra, sucia, prostituta, Sodoma, Gomorra y la putada enferma Kirchners, perdón el término, forgive me the term please. Es exactamente la enfermedad que te consume en muerte. Genocidiaste, reventaste, robaste, mentiste, engañaste, manipulaste, hiciste imperio de estás diciendo que Dios fuera a justificar eso. Tú, ciencia puesta por tu supuesto Dios, del engaño, de la mentira, de la degeneración, de la corrupción, por la supuesta misericordia de las almas, es el invento romano de la degeneración Balacá, y sos una maldita puta de Lucifer. No hay, ni hubo ni habrá homosexualidad, ni zoofilia en mi persona. No hay, ni hubo, ni habrá adicciones, ni robo, ni delincuencia, ni crimen, ni terrorismo, ni asesinato a través de mi persona o por mi persona. No hubo, ni hay, no habrá obra criminal, ni diablos, ni demonios, excepto lo que vos pretendés todavía poner en mi persona, en lo que a mi persona es. No existe porque no trabaja el Señor, porque no hizo y no se bancó lo que el Señor. No existe profecía de tu boca ni de ninguna perra degenerada asociada a vos que en contra de mi persona de parte de Dios, ni contra Israel, ni contra mi gente, ni contra mi comunidad, ni contra de mi generación. No hay Dios en vos, no existe. Porque la psicología muestra y lo niega y está exhibiendo la verdad y se entrega a sí mismo. No existe, el Señor reveló, no existe, el Señor se mueve en el poder que vos erectás. No existe autoridad de Dios en vos, no existe reino de Dios en vos, no existe Cristo. Solamente Yahshua de Nazaret. Mesías, el Mesías santo, de realeza de Dios. Mesías, el Adón, el amo y Señor, el Hijo de Dios, el Ajajay. Melech Malachim, Rey de Reyes. Adón ha Haida Echatzi Adonim, el Señor sobre todo señorío, nombrado por Dios. Y la única realeza es que sos una víbora prostituta, pagana, asesina, degenerada, ladrona, criminal, deflectiva, falsa profeta, perra sucia de Lucifer, abominable víbora, todo lo que argumentas es tu muerte, porque nada Dios dio de mí a Sodoma y Gomorra, a quien decís que le tenés que dar, y nada Dios te justificó en la degeneración que me haces, le haces a mi nación, y le haces a su nombre en todo lo que me hiciste, desde 1976 con tus anteriores, hasta el día de hoy con toda la mierda que sos. Por los siglos, muerte de la eternidad te sellé, y muerte de los siglos tienen, y ninguno de ustedes se salva, excepto víctimas, los cuales no son considerados hijos, excepto el Adón determine. Shalá. Y mucho menos autoridad. Y ustedes, mierdita de Lucifer, y así murieron. Y no es, se te vuelve, habla de sí mismo. Tu hechicería es freaking out, asquerosamente escalofriante. Mierda. Tu hechicería y tu psicopatería enferma, psicopatería hechicera de cuarta, es enfermante freaking out. Abominable perra. Estás en el infierno por los siglos. Shalá. Sorry this. רבת לך בלחני שיחה כמלחני חלק משפחה חנם רבת לך חלקי מחטא שבועת סחלת דם רבה לי רסלק אבלך ליקיש קדח חי רמה לך ושקילת צבק תחילי שלט ארמיה שלבות וכוח לשתה רימד לפך על גשקת בלקלה חטא שלי רמה לך וצולה רשלק An vesecha chayda shleitzimichini. Atlar remetziv al fechar chelushu. Ria belat kua shelat sabaku chulam. Retabash letzibiki al eshkedach naana ka shludu. Rabla bat seloshu. Reshkalchu. Matsu. And lemat remel plechidishkad levetzia. Arrega lechete shlo atzabak chuchulatsu benu. BLYTT chedesh kerchaliyad donai. Reba lefach lechet shatsuba. Rechalatsu matzela shatz abtua. Ramal vlet tabashku botuk achat. Reshalak. Amblemetsu. Shedim ma'onsu. Rati kadosh ta'atzachai ta'ini. Relatza. Addi beti SODOMA tuma GAMARRH. Abela tuma tashlatu tuba. Reta chedi aliyashama matza. Retivia chetesi shediaya tamatu. Rebad blefecha matefecha li. Rema blefecha chalivitia. Rema blefecha dishbotu achala. An remeti med blekiveskive tak dakne betkatu pushkatsaptacha. Rebat antach vatakachle. Reitisha plachti vachlachta. Rishka richalach. En blefecha geni. Rimatlechi. Veeto chate. Spochu. And I am going to show myself. And you're going to understand. You were nothing but like I, with this mouth, just said all through my real. Says Adon, El Chai, Adonai, Melech Eloheinu, Eloi of Elia and Israel Sion. I, Elohim, Yahweh, and Allah, Chadchecha Chayda, Shegat Sechi Kadosh. Y Galbatram Ableja Jalishahim, profana degeneradas víboras, estás muerto. Mebleja Jalikish Mahal Hanab, Remableja Jal HTTPS, HTTPS www, MDODRMDD FTD, FDRMDD FTD FODD RCMC, BMD DLD LD command. ODMD FTD ODRMCTB XTD DRMC OD XTDB RMC BMD OD middle cis middle kaina KAUA UIW NNAH 555.90. HTTPS www. Thank you, verse. RMDODMCPRO. Middle. Tiskalvinser. The churches of ICJ. Middle. Researches for protocolar justice. Genocide implying robbery of patrimony and familicide with the serious allegations and charges of destruction by massive rapes by forces and the whole uniformed over states and institutionals. DMC 484 middle PREIN middle CARNIVAL middle United Evangelics middle DRMCB MC CAN THICAM the command 4348-99391 DMC middle CIS middle IFA UI HID FFHAD 384.90 systems recall F9 F2 F5 F11 F4 F6 works the same. Last BLYTT and cleaner, last key and cleaner. This is December 18th 2014. This is 10:20 with 30 seconds. Buenos Aires. I am Alejandro Mario Blanco Redemy, and this is the reality. We are still this, and here I got it all. Shalom. Please be safe on that, and be safe around. Have a nice not leaving until finishing the 6